All right, I'll ask off camera about would you take part in a purge, but we can talk about that afterwards. That'll take too long now. We got stuff to get through.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back to Stream It. We are on episode 6 of Lovecraft Country, and then we have actually a lot to look ahead to. So I'll just leave that as a surprise for the end. But first, I have an opening question that I'm trying to tie it into the Halloween season coming up. What is an existing horror movie that you think you could survive in?
Wow.
Yeah, this is interesting.
I liked, we got this question a little bit earlier in the day to think about it, right? And I started doing some research, and I was like, I would die in all these movies.
I know.
Like, I'm not confident about any of them. But then I was just like, all right, I'll just pick one. And I feel like The Quiet Place.
Wow.
Because I think if we learned the sign language, I'd be happy not like.
Yeah, but I just heard you eating cheese.
That's true.
It's like not a chance.
That's true. I didn't think about the little things that
Or
you
like
do.
if you sneeze.
Oh, you sneeze so
I
loud.
do sneeze. Wow, maybe not. See, I would die in all of them.
I didn't even think of A Quiet Place.
Well, I just like that movie, and I was like, I could like not talk. Like I was thinking about the not talking and just like communicating like signals and stuff, and then just kind of, I don't know, chilling. But yeah, I'm wicked loud when it comes to like ambient sounds,
But when we try and
unintentional sounds.
when we try and record you on any of these shows, it's like, will you speak up?
Yeah, see, that'd be great. Little whispers and stuff. Perfect.
I wouldn't do well in A Quiet Place. Just naturally, I have a loud voice.
You
and
do.
I like to talk. So
Yeah.
that wouldn't work.
Well, that's why I like being around you, because I'm fine just like chilling, and you can just.
No one I actually thought I would do fine in is The Purge, because
I love that answer.
I could basically
You're really good at hunkering down.
right, like so you have to come up with some sort of place to hunker.
Yeah.
But I also feel you can get away from the situation.
Yeah. I mean, we don't live in a city, so that's like a good start.
Yeah, that's a plus to start. But I feel like I would be able to just figure out how to just avoid it for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then get back to my normal life. But I was
That's a good
thinking
one.
like Saw.
I thought you were going to say, like, I just feel like I could really do some damage, like 24 hours. Like, I got a lot of axes to grind.
No, get away from it all. But I was thinking of like something like Saw. I'd be like, Jigsaw, just cut me out of this. I don't need to be here. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if I've been tortured even in the least bit, I'm done. If I get a paper
Just
cut,
end
I'm
it.
just like, God, what? Like,
Why do they exist?
it'll just be sitting at my desk, like it's still there. Like, when's that going away? So any type of torture, forget about
Just-
it.
yeah.
I'm done.
You guys thought of like creative ones. I feel like I should have looked into this more.
You told us to.
I know. But like I always like The Purge, A Quiet Place even, and I like that movie. I feel like I never think of that though when I think
Yeah.
of like horror movie. That's so good. Okay. I was thinking I wouldn't survive anything that's like paranormal.
Oh, so
I would
freaky.
immediately die, and if not from the ghost, I think that I would just be too scared. Like,
fear.
yeah, like I
Did that just move?
I
Heart
wouldn't
attack,
be able
dead.
to do it. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Even if they like cleansed me, I feel like my whole life I would never be the same. I think like any of like the slasher movies, like Halloween, but even that's like iffy because like Michael Myers doesn't really die.
Yeah.
So like he'll always just keep coming at you. But like maybe like Scream, because I feel like that's kind of just common sense. Everyone who dies in those movies, I feel like
Yeah.
kind of had it coming because they never
Right.
leave the house. Like they'll get the phone call and they stay in the house.
Yeah.
And then they open the closet door that the person's clearly in. Like they go after the noise, and I feel like I would not be like
Yep,
that.
I'm going.
already not like
Go to my
that.
parents' house. I'm gonna sleep there for the night.
Yeah, I would just be out.
I just watched The Conjuring, and
God.
there's creepy things happening in the house. Like in the first night they stay there, their dog dies.
Yep.
Like first night. And it's
Too
like,
bad.
we couldn't even make it 24 hours. And something like this is happening. And we have a secret basement. As soon as stuff started to really pick up and you figured out the history of the house, it's like, let's put it on the market and let's get out of here. It's the house.
Yeah.
So if it's
Yeah.
that situation, I could survive because I'm just selling the house.
I'm out of
See you
here.
later. I'll
I'm not
stay in
attached.
a motel.
Okay, that's true then. Maybe I could do that. Because they always, even when the house is on the market, they're always like, well, we got to stay, you know? It's our house, we got nowhere to go. I'm like, sleep on the street.
Yeah.
Like,
Go to a motel. It's not going to follow you. It's angry about you being in the house. Walk in
Yes.
the middle of the day at 11 a.m. and say, we're just getting our stuff. It's all yours. We just want
Yeah.
our stuff.
right?
I love the thought that you could like rationalize with like these scary things. Like if you saw a ghost, like I wouldn't like expect it to be a bad ghost. Just be like, oh, like hey ghost, like
Interesting.
you know what I mean? But in all these movies, it's always scary and like assumed it's bad and like I mean
Not
a lot
Casper.
of yeah. Like I would easily be in Casper.
I could survive Casper.
Yeah, I could survive Casper.
It seems like his uncles, is it his uncles that are, he has like 3 uncles with him, I think.
Casper does?
Yeah, in the 90s movie. Doesn't he have like 3 uncles, is it?
I don't remember.
Well, they just kind of do like harmless pranks to just like annoy you.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, this is just frustrating. Can you guys cut it out,
yeah.
basically?
I also realize I don't watch a lot of horror movies.
You don't like horror movies. I know that about you.
And I don't mind the idea of horror movies, like cinematically, and like I think it's a fun genre and stuff. But yeah, I don't like. I was looking through the list of like movies that were considered horror, and I'm like, I haven't seen a lot of these, and I don't really care to. There was a couple I was because I still haven't seen Jordan Peele's Us or Get Out, and I
Oh, wow. You haven't seen Get
Yeah.
Out.
well, so also the wife does not enjoy horror movies, so it's like we're not really sitting down and watching those.
I mean, the last movie I've watched was just recently Hereditary. And
So gross.
they shouldn't let that guy make movies anymore because between Hereditary and Midsommar, it's like, this guy is so twisted.
Oh, we watched what's the one? I think it was M. Night Shyamalan, the grandparents one.
The Visit?
Yes, we watched that, and that was like probably the last one.
That one was kind of funny, though.
Well, that's the thing. I was gonna say like I could probably survive like Zombieland, like.
Oh, anything
Oh.
zombies, I would be out. Same thing.
But that feels like a comedy, like you know the one I'm talking about with Eisenberg and.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that one. If
Yeah.
I was with that group.
Yeah.
If I was
Well,
like,
I mean,
with my family.
I assume it would be.
See,
Done.
it's interesting you say, like, you thought I was going to say I could do some damage in The Purge. I feel like zombies are a different story where I'd be like, oh, let's bring it on. Give me a baseball bat with some nails in it. This would be fun. To a point.
That would be a good question for next week. If you're in a zombie apocalypse, what would your weapon of choice be?
No one answer right now.
Okay, I did not just say anything.
But yeah, so there's like some funny, slightly horror like themes that I think I
Could
would
you
like.
survive in The Happening? Would you drive your Jeep into a tree?
That's so sad. Well, I don't know if the wind told me to, then I maybe would.
Or like Final Destination.
See, I thought about that one too, but I was like,
That's fate.
yeah, I was like, I can't tell if I'd survive in that because yeah, it's like that's fate. Yeah, they just
When they avoid it, doesn't it just come in a different way?
Yeah.
so I guess not.
That movie scared me when I was younger. I never even saw it. I saw like the commercial.
Yeah, those are intense.
Those like 80s horror movies like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, Freddy Krueger's attacking you in your dreams, you're screwed. And then Friday the 13th, they don't like run. I feel like that people, it's like the slashers can keep up with them with walking, get in a car, drive, move. Why
Yeah.
aren't more people moving
Yeah.
if this is happening?
Yeah.
That's why like I feel like it would be so easy.
Yeah, that's
I
my
mean-
horror movie plan, move.
Maybe the
Yeah.
Scream guy, I think he runs. I think
Yeah,
he actually like has
but like, spoiler alert to Scream, wasn't it one of the group of friends that was doing it?
it was like several
Yeah,
yeah.
so,
But Michael Myers like just watches you. And then if you get in his way, he grabs you.
yeah.
And everyone gets in his way.
Jeez.
Just move. There you go. Survive a horror movie? Move.
Move away.
Like,
or
did
have a
you-
bunker.
Like in the new Halloween, he kills someone when they're in a bathroom stall, but they see that he's coming down. He's kicking down every single door, and she just is waiting there, like watching, sitting on the toilet.
Hold the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Occupy.
I think she actually does, and he like kicks it down.
Busy.
But still, it's like he's going through every stall. Go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Baseball slide through his legs and then just hightail it.
Easy.
yeah.
Done a million times.
We'd all probably die.
Yeah, realistically, I wouldn't.
I'm surviving a purge. By hunkering down.
You didn't give a lot of specifics about hunkering.
I mean, going to the woods. Camp for a night. You're just like,
What if someone's coming through the woods, though? You'd be open season.
In New
No,
Hampshire is
you
live free or die. I
set
mean,
up,
you're in the
set up
spot.
bear traps around your tent.
Do you have bear traps?
If I was in a society that had a purge, I would have bear
You
traps.
get those on Amazon.
And I feel like don't have any enemies. Be a nice person and don't have anything valuable. Then you're good.
Yeah.
No one's coming after you in the purge.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that because this next.
Just our socioeconomic standing, we'd be set. Like, just suburban Hudson, like trying to get my 47-inch TV.
Yeah.
Moving on to Lovecraft Country episode 6. I guess I should just start with a synopsis.
Well, let me say one thing. Did you
Yeah.
guys see the SNL skit about Lovecraft Country?
Not yet, because I didn't know if it was gonna like spoil. Does it not like?
And
reference
it
anything?
does not.
Okay.
But for our viewers, you should check it out, and you guys should watch it. But basically, they're just going around, like, one person's trying to explain what the show's about. And they're like, oh, it's about racism. And, like, just everything that we've gone through on this show, just being like, what is happening? And there's wizards and witches and, like, just all kinds of stuff. So it's just funny, and you should check it out.
Anyway, y'all should really check it out. Like I was saying, it has race, gender, witches.
Witches?
Yeah, and aliens. Or maybe they're monsters. It don't matter. But the things live underground.
My mom watched this episode with me yesterday.
Oh,
Never
God.
saw anything before it.
Well, she probably followed along fine because
Yeah, well, she actually was like, I feel like I got it as a standalone thing. I was like,
Yeah.
well, this was a good one to come in on. But
Yeah.
I tried explaining everything before that. And I was like, well, it's monsters, magic, like adventure, but also racism, sexism, and it jumps between time zones. And she was like, you can just put it on. I need to know. I tried to summarize it. I'm sure I left out a few small details, but it was
What?
like going on half a page. And I was like, I should wrap this up.
I like it.
All right. So this episode takes place in South Korea in 1949 and 1950, 5 to 6 years before the events of everything that we've seen so far in this season. We finally meet who has been on the other end of the phone calls with Atticus. It is not his mom.
No, that was actually cleared up in like the pre-episode thing. I was like, oh yeah, that's not his mom.
Yeah.
Like, I missed that.
So it was Gia? Gia, a woman studying to be a nurse in the Korean War. Everything starts off seemingly mellow. Gia lives alone with her mother and loves American films, specifically one starring Judy Garland. Her mother is pressuring her to bring men home, but Gia always struggles to find one, even in a speed dating session. Things take a turn when she finally does bring a random man home from the bar. Things get heated, and then she literally sucks his soul out of him with 9 monster tails that come out of her body and into his. We find out that she is possessed by a kumiho spirit, summoned upon her by her mother to get revenge on their just on not so great men in general, but initially her father,
Yeah.
which was confusing. If she takes 100 souls, the spirit will leave her body and she will apparently be Gia again. That's why her mother wants her to finish the job so she can have her daughter back. In 1950, a year later, she starts working actively in the hospitals where wounded soldiers come in, and this is how she meets Atticus. She recognizes him for killing one of her best friends for being a communist sympathizer and plans to kill him, but they start to develop a relationship. She not only realizes that he is a good person, but also that she is capable of having real feelings. Because of this, she spares him, but accidentally attacks him one night and literally sees his future, in which he dies upon returning home, hence the phone calls from the earlier episodes. She tries to warn him, but Atticus, obviously freaked out, runs away, and doesn't come back.
Well done.
Thank you.
That is a good synopsis.
My one big question. How has Atticus not told anyone about the tales and all that stuff back at home?
So he's referenced her to Letitia, but he was just like, oh, my last relationship. I think he was just like, oh, it ended bad, or I got hurt. And
I mean,
that
it's kind of
was
an
it.
unexplainable. Although,
But now
what
you've
they've
seen
seen.
monsters in
Yeah.
magic. Why aren't
he'd be
you
like, I got one more for you.
right? Wasn't this thing that happened to me in Korea? Like,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And she was the woman that we saw when he has like the nightmare thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was the communist sympathizer who he killed.
Was it?
I think so. I
I'm
don't
gonna have to
know.
No, I
rewatch
thought
that scene.
Wait, from a previous episode?
Yeah.
The woman who was like dressed in the like soldier.
In the second episode when they saw like their biggest fear things,
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was after watching that episode. I was like, oh, I think that's the communist woman that he killed.
Oh, could be. Or also his Korean girlfriend, who
Could be, yeah, I know.
is also fearful at this
But
point.
maybe at some point they'll reference the fact that they each individually saw something weird in that room. That has just not been brought up.
Yeah.
Like George had
The wife
a
thing.
Mayor or
mistress or
something?
something.
Yeah. Sometimes shows when there's so much going on and they try to like amp it up for some like wow factors like that, like they might not come back to that. And it's just like, oh, this is like a scary, weird thing. And it made me think when I was watching that episode, but now I've forgotten about it and like we've moved on to other storylines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they're brilliant and it'll tie back and we'll be like, oh, wow, nicely done.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but
And I guess those things are kind of their like shameful secrets or like fears.
True. Yeah.
So, well, Letitia definitely wouldn't tell Atticus what she saw
Yeah.
because it was Atticus.
Yeah. So another thing is, do you think Gia is going to be a bigger part now? Because spending a whole episode on her, instead of like Atticus telling this story and having like a flashback for 15 to 20 minutes in an episode, seems like she's going to have a bigger role.
I think so.
yeah. I mean, I think the most obvious thing would be that she's realized that she needs to warn him make more of an effort than she did. Obviously, he left. She's not with him. So it seems like maybe she would be coming to Chicago or whatever. Probably still as the Kamiho or whatever. So that just adds another wrinkle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, wasn't she saying she like can control it, sort of?
She thought she could, but then it seemed,
Like she couldn't because of the Atticus thing.
yeah,
But,
because of maybe we'll call it love. Like,
yeah.
it was really, yeah,
Passionate.
passionate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when yeah. Like, so I think she can to a point.
So, one other question. When they went to see the like shaman, the mom and Gia, I'm forgetting what that was all about. They were asking if it would.
If they could,
Like reverse it or just
instead of it
back.
being 100 spirits, it would be if 99 was enough. Because as soon as they walked up, she said, "You come here with only 99 souls." Like, so they were going to be like, "Come on, 99 is close enough."
Huh.
And then I had this as one of my questions was they mention even earlier in the episode, like there's a price to pay if I assume she doesn't do the full 100. And the shaman even says like, oh, like, you know what the price is. And the mom is like, yeah, I'll take it. Like, I'll deal with it. Like, just leave my daughter alone. So I was wondering, what do we think the like consequences?
Is it the shame they mentioned for having like the father be an abuser and
That's why I don't understand what was happening. It's like, all right, you've got 99, even if you like Atticus. Or didn't she ask about Atticus? If it was true?
Yeah, she
Yes.
also asked about that.
she wanted to just know because she loved him. Is he going to die if he goes home?
Right.
As if almost, because that seemed like it happened shortly after Atticus ran out, so he might still be in Korea at that point.
I guess, yeah, I'm wondering what the point of, like, if there's anything that can come from that. Like, is there a way to save Atticus's future? Is there, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I wonder if that's like why.
because at this point, why go and ask about the 99 when you just do one more soul and be like, all right, we're at the 100, that's done. Now let's go back to the shaman and like try to figure something else out.
So you're
To
saying
save
why not
Atticus.
just get another random.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like there was more to the shaman going there than just being like, hey, is 99 good? Because it's like, no, okay, we'll go do one more, and then like, you know what I mean? Like that piece is done, and it doesn't matter. But I feel like she was really trying to see what she could do magic-wise about his future. And I'm wondering if that will play a role in like what happens next. You know what I mean? Like maybe the shaman can do something and this will affect Atticus back home. Like that's another way that they could be involved.
She was asking I think she was asking basically like, can you fix this? But we have noticed that sometimes things just like.
Oh, and she was looking for answers just because this was the first time she'd seen a future.
Right.
Yes.
So she like knew she wasn't supposed to kill him basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this spirit was supposed to attack bad men who have done bad things.
Yeah, and he wasn't.
And yeah, that's what she ultimately discovers, is that Atticus is inherently good, I guess. You know, so.
And I don't think that she was supposed to be able to like feel actual emotions.
Right.
Like I think she's just supposed to like mimic it, like she does with like the mother.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's what she was told. But was that the mother that was telling her that?
I think that's.
Or was that the shaman or the spirit that was saying that? Because
The
it sounded
mom
like.
was saying she was mimicking it, but then she says to Atticus when she like confronts him outside of the like base, she says that he saved her because she finally realized that like she had feelings for him.
Yeah.
And she like never had that before.
Right. This one especially, this whole episode was especially like a little micro, like short film. And you know what I mean? It had really no other ties other than a couple of like hints previously.
It was similar to like the episode of Watchmen when they like went back in time to like the 40s and showed the older.
Yeah.
It's like this ties in and everything, but we kind of just want to make this.
Well, you're so used to those other storylines moving
Yeah.
forward and seeing what's happening and them like getting answers, and then they throw this like screwball in there, and it's just like, all right. Because I feel like nothing advanced about anything we were
No.
talking about previous to this, right? So
That's why I was saying it was interesting they did the full episode instead of like 20 minutes and advance the story.
yeah.
Like have it say 1949 South Korea, do the whole thing in 20 minutes, and then go back to present day and advance the story more. So
Yeah.
Like last episode, you said you were like, "Oh, I bet they're gonna pull a Westworld," and suddenly there's gonna be one episode where like little things from like the first episode
Oh,
suddenly
it all
make sense.
comes back.
And that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
Because when I kind of figured she was the one who was calling him like right in the beginning, but then at the end when she sees his death, I was like, oh.
Makes
So that's
sense.
like the previous episode ended with him reaching out to her about him dying, which also is why she probably will like
Show up.
Yeah, she'll show up because he reached out to her. So yeah.
Yeah, he decoded a message and it said like die or whatever,
Yeah.
and then he called her, right? And then the episode
And he was
ends.
Oh,
like, "How did you know?"
yeah, because he never. If it ends with him just running out of that room, he never like figures out like the whole story behind what's going on with her.
Right. Never
So
get
how
rec-
did you know? He'll like maybe she comes to America, like you said. She comes to Chicago.
Yeah.
I hope so. I really liked her.
Yeah, she was an interesting character. She was
cool.
like, yeah, pretty cool. They did a good job, like, kind of leading you along. Like, the mother wants her to have, like, a suitor and, like, you know what I mean? Like, making it almost seem like, a normal situation over there, and then they threw like make a twist in it. You know
Yeah.
what
It
I
had
mean?
like the pumpkin spice. I was like, oh, how cute.
Yeah, and like the Judy Garland thing, like it was
Yeah.
all like very like, oh, what a like nice like
And the other nurses,
slice of life. Yeah,
The other nurses like not going to the speed dating thing, or one of them not because she met a guy. So you're just like, oh, this is the culture. It's like,
yeah,
why are you being a nurse? Just find a husband and be a wife.
right.
And then
Not the
boom.
case.
9 tails coming out of this.
And I
Like that was a great like, I don't know, just writing and movie making or whatever. Just like to have a normal story. And, you know, I don't know, just a great setup. And then it was like, wow, don't forget this is Lovecraft Country and we're going to like put magic and a huge spin into this.
when the first tale came out, that was like, you know, goes somewhere not great for the guy.
Yeah.
But my mom, like, because it kind of like held on him like screaming for a bit. My mom goes, did that just go in? Is that in him now? And I was like, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the more graphic scenes from the series so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not like holding back with any of the gore.
They're not
no.
subtle
The
at
like
all.
skin, the last
Yeah,
the last
shedding scene.
episode.
Oh yeah, so I guess that might be technically more
and then the
graphic.
attack on the like store owner,
Yeah.
and then now like this,
Yeah.
and like when the like whole room is set up for the explosion
Yeah.
of like a
blood.
person.
Yeah, it's a person, yeah.
They were kind enough to only show it once, though.
Yeah,
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 then the next time it was just them cleaning.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you notice? I first thought something was weird when instead of saying like, you need to find a husband or like you need to like
You need to
find
bring
a
a
man.
man back.
You need to bring a man home, and I was like, ooh, that is very progressive for the mom to be telling her that.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
kept saying that. I was like, something is weird here because like
Yeah.
it should be like husband or something.
Right.
Like we said, other than that, finding out why who Atticus was calling, nothing else in the story has advanced. And Diana is still, and her mom are still like going to Braithwaite Manor. We still like
That
haven't
was
seen them in like 3 episodes now.
They'll probably be the next one, and we won't
Yeah,
see like
just them,
Atticus
yeah.
again for like.
I know, right?
Oh, and Atticus was reading Monte Cristo when he met her, which was just another little tie-in to that book.
Oh, and they like discussed it, right? Or she read it.
She saw the movie,
Oh
so
yeah.
she
yeah.
like tried to spoil it for him, and he was like, "That was the movie." Like flirt. She was not having it. One fun fact that I told Tom about last week, I found out accidentally. Do you remember in the second episode when they're looking for the dad still, and they come across the like prison tower, and there's that white woman with the dogs and like a shotgun? That's very racist.
Yeah.
So that woman is who Ruby turns into in the previous episode. Like, it's the same actress, same woman.
Oh.
So that must have been someone on a potion, or we think. Then we started talking about how maybe it's more like a Harry Potter polyjuice potion thing, where you like take a strand of hair and then you turn them into that person.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
But you're thinking there might be significance.
I feel like there has to be,
some connection with the Braithwaites.
yeah.
Something.
Like, either, like, maybe they, like, their little compound, they just, like, if it's, like, the Harry Potter thing, like, maybe they just, like, use all of their workers and are like, well, here's who we're going to turn into. Or it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that could be, yeah, they could go anywhere with that, I guess.
Like, you don't just coincidentally cast the same woman to play two completely
Yeah.
separate
What if they did,
characters.
and like, did you catch it? Or did you read it somewhere or see something?
I was looking up pictures to use for like last week's episode, and that one happened to also come up, and I was looking at it, and I was like, she looks familiar, and I was like, oh my, that's the woman.
Wait, what if they did just like cast her in 2 roles and didn't think anyone would notice, but Sarah noticed?
I'm gonna tweet Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Reddit is too on top of things for that to possibly happen.
I know, seriously.
Oh man. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Do you guys think we've seen the end of Uncle George? He brought him up again this past episode, and I just kind of feel like he might not.
So I don't.
You don't think we've seen the end of
No.
it? No, me neither. I think...
And I think because my best theory is that there was some mention of a time machine.
There was.
The sun's thing?
And
The solar system
And the
thing?
solar system, I think, is that. I think, or that was part of the mention, or whatever it was. And somehow they're going to get that working, and they're going to go, like, what should we go back to? Well, how about Uncle George?
I feel like George is way too big of a influence on Atticus's life, and then
It's like, knowing what we know now, we got to go back and get Uncle George.
Yeah.
And da, 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 da.
He won't believe this.
yeah,
And if we like, if you're gonna go back in time, like when you go back like for something big like that, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So,
Yeah.
which is just like icing on the cake for this show. Like,
yeah.
they've jumped into everything, and then they're like, time travel, boom! Like,
And I think,
how do you write this?
maybe Hippolyta wasn't the one who mentioned the time machine. But if it's the sun thing, that is kind of like her interest.
right.
So she could be if she's looking for answers.
And it was his atlas that Diana was looking at when she decided to turn around. I just think he has too many fingerprints on the show to just be in it for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you guys agree.
Yeah.
I also think that woman is coming back, Yahima.
Oh, the
yeah.
siren.
Yeah.
Yeah, the siren. It was too weird to just throw in for 5 minutes and then. But I mean, the show has done weirder things. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, and Atticus just punching his dad like 7 times, and then it just like wrapping up,
right.
just like being like, oh yeah, we just threw this in. He got pissed about it, and then it's over.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I feel like I don't have as many qualms with like all that whole, the end of that episode. You guys are both like raised eyebrows at the killing of the siren and the fight with the dad. I'm just like, it's just what it is for that. I don't know why,
Well,
like it doesn't
we
stand out to
have
me.
seen,
I feel like they've been moving through so much
oddly
stuff so
enough,
fast
as,
that
like in depth as this show is, they do sometimes just say like, oh
Yeah.
wait, hold on, turn off your flashlights, and the sun's gonna line up and open this door. Like
Yeah.
they do things like that.
like I guess I'm satisfied enough that like they were, what's the orders guy's name? The old guy. Atticus's Clytus. Yeah. What is it? Titus. Yeah, like I feel like that could have been just like Titus character development, that like he had this like slave person that was da 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 da, and like
it definitely could be.
he's, you know,
Yeah.
that piece of history is trouble for Atticus to go follow. So like
Yeah.
dad kills him or kills her, and then like Atticus is mad at the dad because like he's on this journey and like he doesn't need protection, so like fight, done, boom. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
so I don't blame you for
yeah.
having but that's one of the things I'm just accepting, and other things like we'll see. You know. Hopefully they tie up like as many of these little like questionable stuff as possible, so that we're like, oh, nice, instead of being like, well, what about
Yeah.
the weird memories that they're shameful of and that they saw at the mansion, or you know what I mean, or like. So hopefully they tie it all up and we're satisfied.
Yeah.
Clever. Psst. Tuk tuk. Focus. Give me some shell. I gotcha. My whole life, I trained to become a guardian of the Dragon Gem. But this world has changed. And its people are divided. to restore peace. I must find the last dragon. My name is Raya. Chuck. You're getting a little too big for this, bud.
How many times have you watched this trailer?
Just twice. Today. What?
Well, after you watch it once, you were like,
Fill it
okay.
right back up in case you missed anything.
Well, it was
Watch
a
again.
teaser,
Common
a minute
practice.
long.
Yeah. No, it looks good. I'm excited. I love the premise that there's what I've gathered from this was different like tribes or something that were at odds, and she's gonna bring them all together by finding the last dragon. It's like an adventure and something we haven't seen really. I don't know. It looks interesting and
She's
good.
like a warrior.
Yeah.
It's
She's
like
got those like sticks.
Yeah.
Like just gonna dominate. I don't know.
It's like Mulan meets Moana,
Yeah.
kind of. Like the character, at least.
Meets like Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Like
That is what it is.
that was the vibe I got.
Disney
like kind of
Lara Croft.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks good. And then if there's a dragon that comes into the picture, like
Did you see
I
like
love
when
it.
it says like coming soon or whatever? It showed like the little dragon in the water at the very end of the
oh
trailer.
He's
no.
gonna have to watch it. A
I
third
gotta watch
time.
one more time.
Yeah, it shows it.
I also like the little like headshot guy
Yeah.
that ends up being big at some point. I don't
Yeah,
understand
that's
that.
That's a classic. That's the chicken in Moana.
Yeah.
Or like Sven.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah,
the
I'm down.
funny little animal compadre.
And then the other thing was like outside
Nico.
of like the tomb, it had like a Star Wars-y type vibe to me. I don't know, like the desert, and then I don't know. She was just like cruising along, and maybe because
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Ray has something like similar that she's like riding through the
Yeah.
desert on like the little like bike thing.
and like I don't. It just gave me like a vibe that they were trying to like make it kind of futuristic, and I don't know.
I might be.
Did you see? You saw the trailer.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
it when you sent it. Might be in the minority here, but I am much.
You wanted a
less
musical.
Likely to watch just a straight up Disney animation movie than a Pixar movie.
I mean, Pixar is in a league of its own, I would say, but
So like,
Kind of similar.
they haven't disappointed.
no, not at
Moana's
all. But like,
Great. Frozen
I
was
never,
great.
I never, until I'm sure I have children or nieces and nephews want to watch it again. I never need to see Frozen again, like ever.
Yeah, but aren't you glad you watched Frozen once?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, great. But I'm not like, I'm much more likely to watch any Pixar movie again before either of the Frozens. Moana was better than those two, I think.
I think so too.
But I think, like you said, Pixar's on a whole different level, but it has the Disney connection. I'm just like, I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, is the Disney animation movies are more for kids than Pixar movies are. I think the Pixar movies can transcend generations almost, and then the Disney animation movies are like kids movies.
Yeah.
They have the songs.
I feel like you're like,
Like I watched Frozen 2 and there was a song every 15 minutes and I was like, okay, it's a kids movie, so they want to keep the kids involved, so here's the song with dancing and a lot of stuff going on.
right. I feel like you're trying to split between like Superman and Batman, or like you got the best, and you're trying to like Pixar might be the better like studio, but the two of them are so good that like I feel like we'd watch anything from them. You know what I mean? Or you don't feel that way.
I don't know. I didn't watch Frozen for like, it came out, I watched it like 5 years after it came out. It's like, but I mean, I was a single guy in my 20s. It's like, I'm not going to spend an hour and a half with Frozen right now. It's just like not what I'm going to do.
What if it was like Cars? What if it was
But
Pixar's
I
Cars?
saw Pixar movies when they came out.
But if Cars came out now, would you make more of an effort to watch it than you would
Yeah,
have Frozen?
I watched Onward the day it came on Disney Plus, and I'll probably watch Soul the day it comes on Christmas Day.
So you're just a little bit more of a
Yeah,
a
I think
Pixar
Pixar
fan.
movies are more. I don't want to say adult because they're not like adult. They're all
Right.
like G or PG, but
Right. I don't know. I don't want to. I hear what you're saying. I just don't want to discount. I think the demographic of Frozen is definitely good for like younger kids because it's like fun with Olaf and Sven, and like it's a little bit more on the younger side, but also like really, really well done. And if you're gonna have a Disney movie with like music like they used to be, like it's super impressive that they were able to do it. You know what I mean? Like the Lion King or like whatever, all those the musicals, Little Mermaid. At this day and age, to have like another one that's like a smash hit is like impressive, and they did it twice with Frozen and Moana. So I guess I'm not willing to say that Pixar's better, but they're equally impressive to me, I think. But that's just agree to disagree, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where do you weigh?
Well, I feel like I'm biased. I saw the first Frozen like 10 times in the first like 2 months. And
Yeah.
I really liked the second one. And Moana. I don't know. I don't think I have... I've never even thought to
They're
compare them.
different, but they're
Yeah.
like
I saw Moana after you told me it was really cool, like the animation of the water and everything. You were like, Moana is like really cool. Then I saw it. I didn't
Yeah.
like seek it out.
right.
I think that it's probably more kid-like too for the Disney ones because I think there's more of like a maybe like a lesson to be learned, but it's like subtle. Like I feel like Moana is like follow your heart,
Yeah.
and like Frozen is like well, a lot of things probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like Pixar doesn't focus so much on like that.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I can't even compare it. I've never even like thought. I mean, I clearly thought that this was Pixar. So
Yeah.
maybe I don't. I guess I'm not like the best person to ask.
I guess I will say that Pixar has that sort of like the creativeness is maybe like a little bit more like Toy Story or like
That's true.
it's like a little bit more out there almost. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I'll give them that then because Disney is kind of just humans. Like it'll be magical and stuff, but
Yeah.
Pixar is into like the inanimate objects and like.
Well,
It's
that
like-
was John Lasseter's big thing. Like with, if you've seen the Pixar story, is like I like to take inanimate objects and bring them to life. So that's
Yeah.
why like Toy Story and Monsters Inc. and that
Yeah.
kind of
and
thing.
like
Or
the
it's-
emotions.
Yeah, it's like a full world too, like with like Finding Nemo, like you know what I mean? And like, I feel like Disney animation or whatever it is like more kind of lesson or story based, but also like the music, and I don't know. It's just there's like a different approach there. I'm not sure exactly how to describe it, but whatever that difference is. But I feel like they're equally impressive. I really, really feel like it's hard to do the musical thing right now, just in like the landscape of the world, and like people are, I don't know, they're just like harder to please, and they did it like really well twice in completely different genres. And I just didn't know that they could do like another Disney movie like the old one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very impressive with, not to mention the like animation of water and like the stuff that Pixar does so well. But Pixar has more of that immersive, like entire world, creative, like something you hadn't even thought of before kind of thing. Like, so I don't know.
Do we know if this is a musical?
We don't know.
Don't think it is, but
I wouldn't think so. Yeah.
no.
It definitely seems like a step away from Moana and Frozen. It's
This one
very
actually
different.
seems more Pixar-y, right? Like a world with a
Yeah.
drag, like you know what I mean? Like, so that's
And a little more intense. I mean, she's like a warrior with like weapons.
yeah.
That's definitely different than Frozen. And had to throw it in there. I already said this to you guys, but Kelly Marie Tran is voicing her. And if you don't know who that is, she played Rose in Star Wars, and she got done dirty in The Rise of Skywalker. So this is
Redemption.
justice.
Justice for Rose.
Yes. So I'm excited about that. Something else that's really cool is a new Netflix movie is gonna start filming in Boston next month called Don't Look Up. It's directed by Adam McKay. What other movies did he do? You know.
The Big Short
Yep.
and Vice. and created and executive produced and might have directed 1 or 2 episodes of Succession on HBO now with Will Ferrell.
Wow. Nice.
So directed by him, and it's starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep, Timothy Chalamet, Jennifer Lawrence, Ariana Grande, and there's even more than that, but those were like the big names that are kind of being advertised. Pretty cool for Boston.
I hope, as you say, it starts filming next month. I hope it does. Like,
Yeah.
give me this movie as soon as possible.
Ariana Grande is kind of a funny one. Like, I know she was on like the Disney
I
Channel
thought the
show.
same thing. I forgot about that, and then I was like, oh, okay, this seems like a
But then
reach,
like pop music and now like seemingly serious movie. Like,
Yeah.
you've seen that, like, have you seen Uncut Gems with Adam
not
Sandler?
yet, no.
Yeah.
The Weeknd's in it, and it's like, oh, that's weird, but he plays like The Weeknd. He plays a musician.
Oh
and
yeah.
I think that happens a lot. Like, they go in, they kind of play a version
Right,
of
right.
themselves or something. So who knows? I have no idea even what the premise is, but
Yeah.
you see that a lot. But she has the acting background, so she could play a part.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
she's from Broadway before even like Nickelodeon.
Yeah, right.
So I think it would be cool if they made her like not look like herself, unless she like plays a pop star.
Right.
But
Oh, like in a serious role, that'd be like really cool.
yeah, but if she like looks like Ariana Grande, I feel like people are gonna be like, "That's Ariana Grande."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta make her look like she belongs next to Jennifer Lawrence, like
Yeah.
in like on like screen.
Oh, and I just want to say, other movies, I knew I was missing a few Adam McKay movies. They include both Anchormans, The Other Guys.
Oh yeah,
Talladega
I was gonna
Nights.
say, doesn't he do?
But
yeah.
he, like, the serious has been Oscar nominated were
Yeah,
those
yeah.
two. So I think that's more like what this will be, is Vice and
Yeah.
The Big Short.
So that's his connection to Will Ferrell then.
Yeah.
For Succession.
Yeah. He there's like a famous thing in all those comedy movies where he has like a megaphone and he yells out jokes to the actors to say, like, they just like keep the thing rolling. It's like, say this, and they just say it. Like the whole kelp thing,
Yeah.
the lion hunting a tuna, and The Other Guys, he was saying it the whole time. So
That's really cool.
yeah,
So he's got one of those brains
Yeah.
that just like knows.
but then you watch like The Big Short and Vice. At one point in the middle of Vice, it just like ends and rolls credits, as if like the Cheneys went off and lived a happily ever after, and he hadn't even become vice president yet. And you're like, what is happening? And it just resumes the movie. He makes the weirdest movies.
that is strange.
I actually submitted to be an extra in that movie.
Nice.
So that was like a week ago. They asked for it, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Maybe you get to meet Timothy Chalamet,
Maybe. No, I'd
who's
wanna be-
apparently all the rage.
I would tell him, I'd be like, just so you know, my coworkers don't think you're all that. He'd be like, all right.
We just think you're fine. We don't get it.
I think you're fine.
What's with the name spelling? I have a brother named Timothy. 2 E's instead of a Y? Come on.
Yeah, seriously.
I think some people say Timotei too.
Oh, God.
I think he has like his mother's French or something.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
he's,
Because
I guess we can
it's
give
not
him that.
Chalamet. Like,
yeah.
so it makes sense.
Timothy Chalamet.
One final thing is, I thought you guys would be excited about this because I know you guys watched it. I didn't. Dexter is returning for a limited series for 10 episodes on Showtime, coming out hopefully in fall 2021.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this recently, and I think did I tell you, like, in the office, like, hey, did you
Yeah,
hear?
yeah.
And we instantly were like, well, where are they going to go with it?
Right,
Because
right.
people hated the ending. I was okay with it.
I think just the premise of that show where you love kind of the bad guy,
Yeah.
but he's got his code or he kills for good, but it's also just like this thing that he needs to do, and like it's just a great like paradox of like emotion of, do I like this? Am I against it? Am I for it? And then they contrast that with like the police background and
Yeah.
working for the police and like all this stuff. So just a great show overall.
He's up there with, like,
So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with it.
Tony Soprano and Walter White as one of the first, like, anti-heroes.
Yes, exactly.
And I loved it so much. And then you have, like, seasons 1 and 4 with like the whole premise, the Trinity Killer in season 4 with the biggest twist ever at the end of the season. I don't want to say it because Sarah might watch it sometime, but
Yeah.
it's
It's really
was
well
so
done.
well done.
Did it ever have like a lull in the series where like I feel like
Season 3 was tougher.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember
so
particularly any lulls.
There
but-
was like what was it, the ice cream truck killer in the first one.
Yeah.
The Bay Harbor Butcher in the second. The third one was, I don't even remember, but there was like another detective involved, Miguel. And then Trinity Killer. And then did it end in season 5?
There was the Julia Stiles.
Oh yeah, that one wasn't great.
Is she a killer?
I don't remember.
I actually don't remember either. I forgot
very
that
funny.
happened.
There was some kind of love interest.
So there's 6, yeah. Maybe 6 seasons, but
I think just the premise is what kept it going for me. Is like you're always wondering if he's gonna get caught,
yeah.
how he's gonna get away with it, and then like how he's gonna manage the relationships with like his police and
Trying
like
to be normal.
yeah, and being normal and like fitting in. So yeah, it's good throughout. But yeah,
All right, so we'll watch episode 7 of Lovecraft for next week,
yeah.
and we'll see you then. All right, so moving on to Love Country.
Love
I don't
Country.
know what's happening today.